She's cute.
All right, we'll call this meeting to order. Call this meeting to order. It's the regular meeting of the Harrison County Board of Education, December 15th, 2020, and we'll stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, that brings us up to our first item on the agenda, special recognitions and presentations, and probably one of our favorite presentations of the year, if not the favorite. This and the grandparents program, both, but Dr. Kelly Nelson.
I'm just glad I'm not part of the grandparents yet. So 2020, easily tagged as the year that everything changed. And sadly, as you well know, most of those changes have been for the worst. Certainly those underprivileged children that we're here to help take care of, they've been rocked by this pandemic. They've been hurt socially, they've been hurt emotionally, they've been hurt physically. And as you know more than anybody, a lot of them have been hurt scholastically. Fortunately, the heart and the soul of this community hasn't been damaged by this pandemic. Despite that we weren't able to put on our party with a purpose, our patrons and our sponsors treated us incredibly well, and we were able to have a record year of fundraising. Because of that spirit of the community, it allows me to be here for the 21st year in a row to deliver a couple checks. Tonight I'm delivering a check to the Children's Apparel Program, which we sponsored for 21 years, in the amount of $35,000. And I've got a check for the School Nurses Discretionary Fund, another fund that we funded for 21 years, for $15,000. So $50,000 to take care of those kids in need. There's more in the bank. I'm sure there's going to be more need, be it food, be it medicine, be it emotional support, be whatever. We're here to take care of the kids. And because of the community, I can tell you for the 21st year in a row, we'll be back. Thank you.
Yeah. Wow.
Thank you.
Merry Christmas.
Thank
to
you
all.
so much.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Brings us down to our next item, delegations. Do we have any? No delegations. Superintendent's update.
Mr. President, we have several things this evening. They're not long things, but we have several things. Mr. Lopez wants to update us on the Gore project bid.
Yeah, well, it's out, it'll be out for advertisement, and we're doing a pre-bid on the 4th of December, or January. So we've got a good opportunity, hopefully, at the beginning of the year, to get the bids to come in relatively reasonable, since it is the beginning of the year. And hopefully we can, get somebody on board by the 17th of January.
It's mandatory pre-bid meeting.
Mandatory pre-bid meeting is the 4th.
Yeah, and I think that it looks to be on target. I mean, I know we're getting this bid out late, but the contractor, architect's saying it should be on target.
No, he said
Yeah.
there should be no problem with
Yeah.
construction. The construction he's not concerned about. He said materials, although the materials, since really a lot of the materials they're concerned about is really lumber, and they're not using any lumber, but doors and windows.
Yeah.
So, but I would anticipate they can pull it through. That's what he signed up for.
Maybe we can get it on a pallet, so.
Maybe.
Just laugh, that's what they all are, like,
Yeah,
those, I've seen them everywhere, I said that as a joke, but
yeah. Oh,
They
well,
have
some
to
of
be
ours,
creative.
those will be specially designed to fit those size, that upgrade, facelift to that building.
Thank you.
The next item we have is, we wanted to update you on our COVID CARES funding. And as you know, that funding is set to expire December 31st, the benefits, and we have not heard anything new as to whether those will be expanded. The only thing we really know is our food program was expanded. Those waivers were expanded through June, but nothing else as far as the COVID
I think
CARES money.
There's a lot of things that end on the 31st, like the 2
Yes.
weeks.
Yeah, the 2 weeks COVID
The 2
cares
weeks
days,
COVID
the
days.
child care days, anything really in there.
There's a lot that's hanging out.
Yeah, so we'll see what transpires, but we're getting late in the game and we were good for the first semester. We're hoping that we can get through this next semester. But she has an update. You should have that in your packet, right?
I
Sharon?
did a little spreadsheet, just kind of summarized it. We've got some big dollars encumbered.
Actually, it's on your, there on there for dogs. There's a,
Under board docs, under supervision.
yes, under superintendent's update.
Yeah, we've got some large amounts encumbered in there. We've got all the virtual teachers being paid out of that grant as well. We do have a little bit of step 7 salary money, if we do need to move some of that over to there, we can, but I was kind of waiting to see. I kind of want to show that we're spending all this, so that if there is more money to be had, because I know the state has asked a few questions about the government families. Where are you with the parent money? No.
We paid for the virtual teachers?
Yes. Ones that we hired, yes, we're paying their salaries.
And then the state pays.
Yeah, we don't pay for those. Like, if our kids are taking virtual classes, we're not paying those teachers, but we're paying our teachers that we've allowed to teach virtually because they wouldn't go in the classroom.
Okay.
Yeah, these are the 10 teachers that we have that needed accommodations.
Okay.
So,
okay.
yeah, that's a different kind of thing.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
Well, I know Justice the other day said, there's so many millions left, and, people wanted it, they better start applying for it.
Well, there's a ton of money left. And I know we had discussed with the health department
So I think we need to,
with using our
Well, the
nurses.
school
for
systems have
vaccines.
requested as a group, the superintendents have requested additional funding as a group, so.
And they can
They
see
know.
how much we have money. That's why I kind of want to leave the
Yeah.
salaries in there for now, because it looks like we have about $40,000 unencumbered.
Right.
Which is good.
And if the health department needs assistance, with our nurses for vaccine. is that-
We've been
Covered
using,
income.
yeah, we have been paying overtime for our
Yeah, that
nurses
should be able
to help.
Yeah, that's going
To
to
help.
help us up, because this is just
Yeah.
in November, so I don't have any of that.
I mean, we've got additional cooks out there that we're paying salaries for food distribution, our nurses overtime hours,
they're
so
gonna
we're
lose
expending.
That 800 million or whatever it is, by the end of the year, they may start dumping a bunch of money really
Right.
quick.
So I'd like to show us spending
Yeah.
it, and,
Yeah.
I have to get back to that virtual teaching, now that you explained it to me. If we have teachers that need accommodations, why would there be extra charges? Wouldn't they just still get the regular salary?
they're getting the regular salary, but we have another teacher now in their classroom teaching.
For
So we're
in-person.
paying for 2
we're paying
positions.
Yeah.
the substitute down here.
Yeah, we
Oh,
have
I
that.
didn't realize we
Yeah.
were doing that.
Yeah, so because it's costing us for 2 people for one, we put
Yeah.
one of
And
the
it's
salaries.
because of COVID, so it comes out of COVID.
Yeah, and they had to have medical documentation that they absolutely could not be in. These were our severe,
Oh, I understand
Yeah.
that, it's just I was
To
thinking
make
if they're
accommodations
teaching
for
virtually,
them.
why wouldn't they just get
Right,
the regular?
right.
It's like teaching their classroom full of kids.
Now, we do have two, there were a couple that were different because they were specialty teachers and they are actually distancing into their own classrooms. And we have a paraprofessional working in that room like you would a distance lab. So we've done some different
And their
things.
salaries aren't in this,
Yeah,
just the salaries
yeah.
when we have 2 people for one position.
Right.
Okay, I just didn't realize that, I don't know, it makes no sense.
We really did work to try to accommodate if they came in with really
Absolutely.
medical concerns, so.
How are we with PPE and supplies and things like that?
I really haven't heard
I think
anything.
it's still
Yeah.
okay. Christine
Yeah.
has been trying to grab up things, but she sees things that are deal and whatnot, she gets some stuff for Amazon, but, I mean, I think we're good.
And I think what we have in the warehouse, they're just requesting now like gloves and like cleaning materials and haven't had really requests for masks. I think the schools are, they're not asking,
Right.
so like at the beginning, I think we've got that settled.
We're replenishing our supplies.
Because you always got money into that.
Right.
We have to check to make sure that we have enough
Right.
supplies from a PPE standpoint.
Yeah, and I think
There's
that,
never-
yeah.
there's never, I mean, that's,
That was a concern. I mean, we were looking at a semester and had everything, and now here we are looking at another
yeah.
semester, so. Oh, I wanted to update you, just, if you look in your, we have a handout. It's kind of just a snapshot of the COVID cases that's been in our schools. Just so you see, this is available on our website if you've not seen that. It's just a running total every day. There's a drop-down box, and so I printed one off so you could just see that. And we would like to transition to, I know we do robocalls, but honestly, we've had a lot of cases in our buildings. And we did that for information, and we wanted to be upfront and transparent with our families and our schools. Now we've got this kind of set, and we're going to start advertising or continue this, and then we will notify, we'll do a press release to the paper and things, and maybe transition away from those daily calls. Because I think maybe we're getting tired of hearing that every day at
What
4.
happens is when you get it, then
Too many.
after a while, they don't.
Mean as much, yeah.
Listen.
So I think we'll transition, this, when we come back after Christmas break, to doing it this way. So we've got a running daily total, and then also we'll still do the press release to the paper, because that's kind of what the the health department.
Keeps me busy.
Yes, it does. I speak with her every day in the health department, so.
So is this like current?
Yes.
Or is this for the whole year? Or
No, this is what our total, this is September the 8th, what we've had in our schools and where they've been. If you look at the staff cases and student cases, so we've had 202 cases. So when I notify you that we've had cases that day, it gets added to this list.
all right.
And that's
Yeah.
the question, I can't understand, I can't understand that we keep adding on student cases, and the students aren't in school.
Because they're still students and they're part of our school system, so, I mean,
But
They're part of that school.
I just wonder where it's coming from,
oh,
that they're getting,
gatherings, social
Community
gatherings,
spread.
yeah, community spread.
Dances.
And I did have that conversation with Chad Bundy several times about, going into the buildings and working in the building. It's the community gathering. It's human behavior. It's gathering and being around each other. It's not coming from, anywhere but that, really. So,
Was Jen here?
well, yes, we do. We have Jim Kirby here. He's going to update us on, he's under safety and, what do we have him under? Miscellaneous. You're
Hey,
miscellaneous,
miscellaneous.
Big Jim.
I always thought,
Miscellaneous.
He could be safety and health.
Maybe.
Maybe.
So my understanding is we want to learn a little bit more about our home visits and what's going on with those.
Yes.
So for the most part, when we go out and do home visits, we do it for a variety of reasons. One of the first reasons is kids not attending school. That's one of the first reasons that we're doing. Another reason is there may be some academic performance issues. Kids aren't engaging in either the remote learning or they're not engaging, period, with West Virginia virtual schools. We may go out and knock on a door and see if there's any technical issues. That's the one thing that we do help with. We'll have folks go into the home and work with the families, making sure that they can log in, get online. We'll call the help desk, we'll get them online, we'll do whatever we need to do to make sure that's working. If it's not working, then we will work with Todd Pool staff to get that rectified, if we're aware of it. Another part of that is to establish residency. Sometimes families move, especially during this time, and we don't know that they moved. We don't know where they're at. We have to track them down. They've not been in contact with the school system, so we do that as well. There's also safety checks, make sure the kid's doing okay, make sure they've got food and whatever. If they don't have any food, we always take food boxes out to them, give them those food boxes. If they need hygiene supplies or clothes, we do that as well. We've done probably, I would say, close to, but not quite 400 home visits at this point this school year. We've been going out and doing quite a few. Our social workers, we have 4 of them, myself included in that, that go out and knock on doors. PROs do as well. Principals, counselors, and there are a few teachers who have some experience in their backgrounds from working with either troubled kids in a residential setting or possibly have been social workers in the past or worked for Summit Center, but they have that experience. And so we feel comfortable with them going out with the PROs as well, or the principal. So there's several people to go out. And when we do go out, We'll work with a lot of other agencies such as like Heavenly Peace Referrals. We'll also do Amy's Attic Slips as well. Help arrange non-emergency medical transportation for the kids if necessary. We'll also deliver paper packets if they're not doing the remote education, if they're unable to, they don't have internet or unable to navigate the iPads and whatnot and the technology. We'll deliver those paper packets, pick them up, bring them back to the school. We'll also assist the family in calling mobile crisis if necessary. And we work in conjunction with DHHR, sometimes doing joint home visits with them as well. We've been pretty successful with these home visits. There are still some kids out there that we need to go visit, and we do go visit every week, somebody new. So I don't know what kind of questions you guys have regarding home visits, but for the most part, that's what we're doing to address the issues that we have with the attendance and the failure to engage in school. And we still are filing juvenile petitions, but at this point, it's for kids that aren't attending school and are not engaging in anything.
And those were probably on your radar before.
They're either on the radar before or they are past cases that we're renewing because they just fell off the way.
Mike, I have a question, and it might sound kind of severe or whatever, but could we not build in that if students are not going to engage or not going to do something, that if Johnny's in the 4th grade, you know, Johnny would be in the 4th grade again next year. You know, we're going into the 2nd semester, which might motivate Johnny a little more to do something if he knew that there's a possibility he was going to be repeating the 4th grade or 5th grade or 7th grade, whatever. I know all the science says, you know, you do not retain a child after the 3rd grade. But, you know, I don't really totally agree with that because, you know, when I was a principal, the first year of 7 through 9, we retained 32 kids because they wouldn't do the work, refused to do the work, thought they was going to get a free pass to move on. And after the first year, it went to 18 students. And then the 3rd year, it went down to 5 students. And then after that, we didn't have to worry about because they needed to retain. Plus, then they started the academy program, and it would help them to pick that up. I mean, I think that just as a suggestion, but maybe, you know, given to the parents, you know, that they got to make an attempt. They got to at least try to help themselves. And if we, you know, threw that in, you know, parents maybe said, well, I don't want John repeating the 4th grade. I don't want him to make it to the 5th grade. Well, then he needs to do something to show that he can function as a 5th grader. If he can't function as a 4th grader, how's he going to function as a 5th grader?
And I think that retention's on the table. I think principals are aware of that, and I think they're having conversations in their teams about that.
Okay, and I didn't know if you was having that with them, but
Yes.
if, you know, maybe reinforced,
Absolutely.
you know,
We
and,
remind them they can be retained, absolutely.
Mr. Kirby, I think in our policy, and we just had that discussion probably maybe 2 weeks ago about what we would do with retentions. And we suggested that they send possible retention letters, because sometimes that will, you know, and that is, I think by February 1, they'll be getting
Yeah.
possible retention letters.
I mean, I used to
Yeah,
send them
just
out
to encourage
early.
them.
I send them out early, send them in the fall, and, you know, then you get calls, you get parents coming in to visit, and like I said.
Well, I think they're working on their list now, and get ready to send those out.
Jim, I kind of requested you to be here
Sure.
because I have met with teachers, and the logging in and like the school meetings, I mean, they're really out there trying, but yet they might get 3 people. And so in speaking with them, they said they might not log in, but then, you know, that evening, all the work will be done and sent in. So there's so many different elements playing into it now, but there are students that our teachers are spending a lot of time tracking down, which is wonderful. But at the same time, what I was basically asking is, what are we doing now with remote learning? Like when they don't log in and stuff, and if you needed help more than anything, because The attendance, as we were discussing 2 weeks ago, it's kind of across the country.
Sure.
Where, I mean, the attendance is very, very low on this remote learning and stuff. And I just wanted to see exactly what we were doing with it, you know, instead our teachers spending, you know, half their time trying to find their students instead of preparing lessons. Does it go to the principal, then go to you? I mean, I just didn't know what the
Sure.
sequence is, because this
Sure.
is a whole new story right now.
If teachers are having difficulty locating kids or they're not participating, they'll have discussions with principals, and then we'll meet with principals or talk to principals, and they'll give us an assignment. We need you to meet on this kid and this kid and this kid, and they haven't logged in since this day or that day, or we've not made contact, they've not been in on any teams meetings. So we get, I wouldn't say a list, we usually get a phone call, and we talk about it over the phone, and we write a list of kids down, and we schedule to give you this home visit. Some of them are announced with the families, and some of them are not, because we can't get a hold of the families.
And really, my question on this whole thing was because our teachers are spending so much time, and is it something that we could help you with? Like, if you needed extra help in this case, because.
Yeah, well, we're using PROs, so they have resources that we don't have. But then again, too, we have a variety of you know, we maybe have a kid in elementary and there's a brother or a sister in middle school. So we also collectively have a lot of resources. So we do talk. And sometimes we go to 3 or 4 houses before we can find the kid.
Mhm.
We bounce around from place to place to place. Well, we went to mom's in jail. We can't do anything there. Okay, well, where did the kid go? Well, we think the kid's living with this person. So we'll go there. No, somebody came and got him the other night and took him here. So then we'll go there. So it sometimes takes half a day to find one kid.
And do you feel you have enough help?
Yeah, I think they're good.
Because, I mean, this has been a big concern with our kids' safety, being at home all the time. You just explained an exact situation, and, you know, Dr. Kelly was even saying how much more difficult it is right now for our kids being at home and stuff. And so really, I mean, my whole thing was to make sure you have enough resources.
We have the resources. The only thing that everybody needs to realize and understand is we're not the Homeland Police. We can't force somebody to participate. Okay, there's nothing in
Even a
code.
teacher.
I can't do a juvenile petition because a kid didn't do their homework. I can't do that.
Yeah.
However, if they're in person and they don't come in person and they don't participate remotely, I am filing juvenile petitions. I've probably filed 15 or 20 at this point. So we are doing that, but that's 10 to 17 years of age. The younger ones are the ones that I'm the most concerned about. They seem to be, you know, ones that we are worried about. We don't have as much contact with. The older kids, you can kind of find them on Facebook or kind of track them and do some investigative skills to track them down. But the younger ones.
And a lot of times, what I said about being on the radar is these are kids that it's an opportunity because of the remote learning and that they more than likely would have started down this path even if we were in the school system. I mean, so, you know,
and you know,
because you're on track with the same number or even less juvenile petitions more than likely because they're not in the school. But these are generally kids that didn't all of a sudden become truant because of the pandemic and working from home. They probably didn't have the greatest track record before of going to school.
Conversely, though, some of those kids who didn't attend school and were behavior problems in school are doing wonderful with remote education because they don't have to interact with anybody except those in their house. And we've got some of those kids who have been at Evolution who A's and B's and participated and doing their work, who when they were in person didn't. So even though we have a group who aren't doing what they need to, we've got a group that've never done what they needed to, doing what they need to.
And a lot of times it's the interaction with others that get them in trouble.
That's right. That's
Well, just so you know, we're here if you need us, basically.
So I
If you
appreciate
see something that needs to be covered, or, you know, it's hard for us to sit up here and determine those things.
Sure.
And just so you know, we want to keep the line of communication open, and we want to know where we can help you and not hear about it after the fact.
We make hundreds and hundreds of phone calls, and really we only are doing home visits when we can't talk with someone on the phone.
Yeah.
You know, you don't want to keep badgering people time after time after time after time, then it becomes harassment. You want to have a conversation with folks, give them an opportunity, let them know what's wrong, and try to help them, give them resources that they can, you know, make this right for their kids. And at some point in time, if you've done all of that, and they're still not doing what they need to, and it's really, really bad, we can go down the Child Protective Services route. We can file an educational neglect petition as well, which carries a lot more weight, and we can address that with the elementary group as well. If we've
That's a
got-
great term we should put out there, Doug.
We can absolutely do that, and we have done that this year.
Educational neglect petition.
We have done that this year.
That's
We've done
scary.
several of those this year. So that is on the table. And I know that our teachers and our administrators are calling and reporting, making Child Protective Services reports when children aren't engaging with the remote education and the in-person education, especially the young ones. And I know that CPS is going out and investigating that.
Put that in
I'd like to say something on the other side of the fence. Yesterday,
It's not.
my grandson, you know, we was there at my house working with his school stuff, and he got a call that two of his teachers was coming to my house to see him. Well, you know, he was all excited about that, seeing his teacher. So doorbell rang, they came in, greeted them. They went into my living room. Me and my granddaughter went down to another room, and they spent 45 minutes just talking with him, seeing if he had any problems with his work, what he had been doing. And like I said, they, you know, scattered out to save distance. And he was so excited to have them there. And I said, you know, we hear all the negative that these, you know, the teachers aren't caring, and, you know, that's, you know, that's not true. And I mean, two of them came and they spent at least 45 minutes.
That's right.
And just talked to him, and I really thought that was a great benefit. He goes from Norwood, and, you know, kudos to those ladies that come out. And, you know, he's not the only one, they was making home visits.
And that's out of their element. That's not something that.
That they have to
That's
do.
right. That's
You
right.
know, and, you know, to take the chance, you know, the COVID thing, to take him in all masked up, he, you know, and I just thought it was fantastic. And he was really excited they left and all. He said, you know, he said, Papa, he said, I'm glad I got to see my teacher, you know, because he hadn't seen him for a while. And like I said, so, you know, like I said, I know you see your side of it, but this is on the other side where all this, everybody working together.
That's right. That's right. And the one thing that we have been doing more of, thanks to BB&T and a grant we received a couple of years ago for providing extra money for homeless situations, we've been able to pay 2 different times rent or help them with a first and last month's lease payment to keep people in an apartment so that they're not homeless. We've done that a couple of times, so that's huge. That's big. So, and that's because of the home visits.
No comment. I went to court in August and they told me that they had to pay me rent until January 3rd, 2021.
Well, they're evicting them.
Well, that's nationwide, so, I mean,
That's in Clarksburg. They're evicting them in Clarksburg. I'll tell you that right now. I've had conversations with the landlords. Absolutely. So,
Thanks, Jim.
thank you
thank
guys.
you.
Always a good job.
Yeah, we appreciate Mr. Kirby. He gives me usually an update about every day of things.
Santa Claus will bring you probably something.
They were told. We have also the United Technical Center. We had a meeting last Friday, Mr. Hope.
Yeah, and like I said, it wasn't a long meeting, but they talked about, you know, the cosmetology program. They have temporarily put a young lady in place that was the assistant down here, and they elevated her up, and they're looking to bring somebody else in until Barbie Mayer is able to, you know, return to her job. She is making a little bit of progress, you know, so don't know how long it'll be or whatever, but that situation's pretty much under control. Also, Mr. You know, Cole, he's just going with each county's, whatever, if they're in school, then those kids are, you know, it's a career center. If they're not in school, then they're not there. And then they'll, you know, they continue to put a couple things on hold till the, you know, till the virus thing is over with. I know it's the airport, or I think it's the airport program that believes they was gonna hire a person, maybe.
The airframe, yeah, airframe.
Yeah, so, but, like I said, it was a very, very good meeting, and, like I said, they're just like every county school system, just don't know what's coming on next and what they can do. But, like I said, it is what it is.
I would like to make a suggestion that you could discuss at your next meeting with this new Hyperloop going in up in Tucker County.
Right,
I read somewhere where they'll be hiring like 1,500 switch operators or something to do with that. I don't know. I know there's like some classes, like at community colleges
mm-hmm.
with that. I'm not sure exactly what it's called, but they should look into that.
Well,
because
that's a suggestion we will make to him in this next meeting,
I don't know exactly what it's called. I'll get the name, but it's basically switch operations that can be used in oil and gas as well as this new thing, but it's gonna be a huge, huge hiring, and I know we don't have those,
No,
so.
and then with Bond Pharmaceutical going out of business, I
Actually,
mean,
yeah,
I
you're
would
right.
think that a lot of people would try to gravitate towards that direction. But like I said, with the Career Center, they have that up there too. I think it'd be a good idea to.
Yeah, because
maybe
we're
approach
equally
them.
distance, basically like Morgantown and Clarksburg to Tucker County, so I'm just saying that's something to look into.
Okay, we'll do that. Thanks for the suggestion. I never thought about that.
That's really all I had for the superintendent's update, other than I just, at the beginning, wanted to say thank you to Harrison County for renewal of our levy.
I was just gonna say that.
Yeah, I wanted to say that at the beginning. It's just, we're just grateful of how much the citizens in Harrison County value education here. And the system is just very grateful and honored that we renewed our levy again. And thanks to the staff and our parents and just all the families.
It's one of the highest percentages, probably the highest we've ever had, and has to be one of the highest in the state, so
Yeah,
it means a lot.
it does mean a lot.
It's funny how the king could not get a exact amount of percentage,
Let it go there.
but the queen got a large percentage. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
Think about that.
It was overwhelming
Yeah.
to be going through what we're going through and still be able to do that.
And to have that support.
Before we move on, I would like to ask our food director back here, getting the food out to the places and what have you. But I've heard that some of the schools that are supposed to be preparing bags and all, because there's, like a central district area where the bags are coming in, that maybe some of the schools aren't carrying their fair weight of getting their so many bags ready and getting them to the drop-off area, what have you. I don't know whether that to be a fact or fiction, just as something I'd like to bring to your attention, that we, if they're supposed to be doing it, then you might have to rattle the cage a little bit, to get them to make sure everybody's doing their fair share, so that others aren't under pressure to get extra done, And I don't know whether it happened or not, but how people talk, and it's all this media stuff and everything, and I don't get involved with that. So if you could check into that and take care of it, I'd appreciate that.
Let me just say, I think we're monitoring all of that, and we'll make some adjustments as needed, and.
Okay, all right, that's all we can ask. Thank you.
If you have the opportunity to see the food distribution sites, it's amazing what the staff and the cooks are doing to get the food out to the kids. It is just amazing.
Do you want to know something? I don't think we've actually taken the time to thank them. I don't think they're sort of like the unsung hero during this whole COVID crisis. What our cooks have done are just, and all of our service personnel, it's just unbelievable. And I don't think we've put a spotlight on them. And maybe that's something we should do for the end of the year, is thank them, publicly, and let people know exactly what they're doing and how hard they're working. And it has never been are they in the building or not? Every single one of them have been in the building, day in and making, and putting out 700 meals
Once this
a
is
day
over,
and
we'll
stuff.
feed them, it's probably
That's
what
exactly-
I just really think that they've gone without recognition.
Well,
we should.
and also, I've gotten calls while we're here from Chad Bundy, just thanking us for our nurses and what they've done. When they're not doing it for us, you're going to help the health department, and it doesn't go unnoticed. So let your nurses know.
Well, we've got a lot of good things going on in this county.
I just got a text here, that, I know, like I said, have you seen the text from Jefferson County? Just, anybody?
Yeah, they're not.
Yeah, okay, they're 11, okay. I just read it, no,
No, you have to share it.
It's
maybe.
not on me. So, anyway, I thought that
Does
was.
that conclude the superintendent's update?
Yes, I'm finished, thank you.
Okay, moves us down to approval of consent items. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Opposed? Motion carries. New business, grades K through 12, health instructional resource, the children's health market, and the Great Body Shop.
Make a motion to adopt these textbook resources.
I'll second that.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Moves us down to policy updates. Revision to policy 1203, school board effectiveness.
Yeah, our policy committee met with Dr. Haig leading that, and she's revising some of the current policies. Do you remember the school board effectiveness meetings that were held in each individual school? This is just reflecting the changes at the state level on what's required for school board effectiveness meetings.
We're required to have one school board effectiveness meeting per year, correct?
That's actually changed a bit, so.
Yeah, the change is that you would not be required to have one unless you had a school that was identified for improvement by the state of West Virginia.
Okay.
And then we're required to have it with that school, correct?
That's
Yes.
under
And,
LSS.
yeah.
Right.
That's this update, that's what
Okay.
this is about.
I'll make a motion to place this policy on 30-day comment.
I'll second that.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Brings us down to personnel matters. Is there a motion?
Make a motion to approve personnel matters.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion?
Yeah, I think, I move pursuant to 69A42 of the West Virginia Code, that the board go into executive session to discuss personnel matters which, if discussed in public, might adversely affect the reputation of any person.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
And I promise this is.
Motion carried. We'll call you, Michael.
Yeah.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay.
to return from executive session.
So moved.
It's been moved and seconded. All of those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, motion carries. We are back into regular session. Brings us to the item, which is personnel and personnel matters. Is there a motion?
So
It was.
It was a motion.
Okay. Okay.
Messenger Devon.
Oh, originally, okay, yeah. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Brings us down to board member comments. Mr. Daugherty?
I don't have anything.
Okay, Ms. Messenger?
I just wanted to make sure that we put out there everything our cooks and our service personnel are doing. And put out a big thank you and awareness to what they've done.
Mr. Hoag?
I'd just like to piggyback on the superintendent's comment. I think we owe a great big thank you to all the people of Harrison County, everybody that came in to vote, at the importance that they see in the educational system and the willingness to, to pay the tax dollars so that the children of Harrison County can have every technology opportunity and, things that are needed in the classroom, along with the athletic programs, the music programs, that everybody is getting the best that they can get that we can offer them in Harrison County. And a big, big thank you to everybody that voted in the levy vote. And, this just makes things, we know now what direction we can go. It lets us take a look at, how soon maybe we can get on board and get started looking at the building program with Washington Irving and everything, and how we can fund those things and all. So that's it, and also a Merry Christmas to everybody in Harrison County and to all the children. It's been tough, and hopefully Christmas will be a little bit of a break, and hopefully after the first of the year, now with the vaccine, maybe we can get started back to some resemblance. It's going to be a long time before we're normal, Thank you.
Mr. Devon?
Yeah, I'd like to just echo my thanks to Harrison County as well for supporting the levy. It's an honor serving here and serving the students and the professionals and the people of Harrison County, and for them to vote for a levy with that much of a percentage of approval, it's humbling to be able to be a part of that. So thank you, Harrison County. I appreciate it.
Mine is same thing, and I also think it's a testament to our teachers because, they've taken a little bit of abuse through this, but the overwhelming numbers say that they're doing a good job, or so it's really a testament to them. They're going above and beyond, and the citizens of Harrison County have rewarded that. Also, Chris Mann, because he served as our chairman of our committee, and I know it's not a normal year to be doing that. It's but he was out there working, and I talked to him several times, and you didn't see as much out there as you normally do because of the circumstances, but he was really out there, and we need to send him a letter thanking him for that, because not everyone wants to step up and do that, because Bob Stemple had done it for a number of years, and it was vacant. He stepped up. And my final thing, along with the teachers going above and beyond, Harrison County AFT today donated 17 $100 gift cards and 22 turkeys to schools to use for the Thanksgiving baskets. So that's helpful this time of year. So anything else? If not, then motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned. Mr. Hoag.
Children of peace, go in peace.
Thank you.
Can we just put that from all of you guys?
Yeah, Mike.